Well, we wanted to come together today to talk. I thought the first episode back post hiatus for TFC, like we have guests coming up who are going to talk about all the more serious stuff, how to deal with your money in this time, investments, organizing, all the kind of like day-to-day stuff. But I wanted to start back with a more, I think, fun topic, which is like how people have been sort of losing their minds on social media and especially when it comes to like influencers, celebrities, brands, like things are chaotic in the core. And I feel like money and status and wealth and displays of wealth and how all of that plays out on the internet is more pointed than ever and more sort of campy and unintentionally hilarious than ever.
Yeah, I think the thing about all of this is that, like, we've never needed wellness checks more when we can't do them. But also, like, because the stuff I'm seeing is very worrying, but also, like, all the rules are suddenly rewritten. Like, the people who have had every advantage and display that wealth and display their, like, healthy, beautiful lives and concoct this, like, it's like a construction for themselves and for the public. And, you know, for some people it's a job. For some people it's just like something that they feel the need to do. But that kind of falls apart because, I mean, number one, we all know what you're doing, which is you're on your couch eating chips, tweeting, just like the rest of us.
Right.
And like binging Netflix. It's not that glamorous. And also like it's much easier to jump right to resentment and rage at people who have like so much and are still acting miserable.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, the gall of Ellen to be
Ellen. I knew she was going to be the first one.
That is still, she's like, I'm in prison. It's like, are you?
Are you in prison,
Are
Ellen?
you in prison with your beautiful wife and your like dozens of acres with like your army of pets and assistants and people dropping off like Blue Apron for you? That must be horrible.
This is like pre-quar, but I imagine has continued post-quar and has got to be even further ramped up in its chaos. It's like my favorite celebrity anecdote of like them making some assistant do an unhinged thing. So Barbra Streisand apparently has this favorite ice cream. I forget what the name brand is, but it's like this from this ice creamery in like Santa Monica or Malibu or something. And she always wants every day a pint of this strawberry ice cream, but she will never keep more than that pint because if she has more than the pint, she will eat more than the pint. So once a day, every day, an assistant has to drive out to this ice creamery and get her freshly packed pint of the strawberry ice cream and bring it to her so she can eat it that day.
Nobody's living larger than Barbra Streisand right now because while that is probably so rough for her, she is also the person who built a mall in her basement and filled it with things that she already shopped for so she could pretend to shop like a normal person, and she pays people to work in that mall.
I remember reading that. You know, what is the thing that you would do if you had the endless money and resources and adoration of a Barbra Streisand?
I think, you know, I would like to think I'd be like, I would help the children and blah, blah, blah. But I know that there would be a couple weird things that I would do. I would definitely have an enormous trampoline in my backyard. Just because I feel like what a better way to clear your mind to just go out to your trampoline
and
that's
bounce.
the size of your yard and just bounce. I also feel like, I feel like I would do some fantastical stuff like that would be super weird but fun for me. Like I would definitely have a faucet in my home that like hot cocoa came out of, and it would be someone's job to like maintain the hot cocoa faucet so I could live like Mrs. Claus.
Oh my God. What? I don't know what I would definitely, we live in New York, so we've long since given up the idea of closet space, but yeah. I dream of like a big walk-in closet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was to think like really realistically.
That's not even a rich person thing. Like anyone who lives in any city that's not, or any place that's not New York can have a walk-in closet.
Yeah. Sure. Our idea of luxury is a little different than most other people, but I think if I was to be like really serious about like what would I actually really spend that amount of money on in my home, this is so stupid. This is similar to my trampoline. I've always dreamed of a room that's just a big bed. Like from wall to wall, the whole room is a bed. And you can just go in there and just be like mentally ill. Like I can just go in there and have depression and no one can bother me. And then I close that and it's sealed off and someone changes all the sheets and it cleans it all up and I go in there whenever I'm sad and it smells like lavender. That would be such a nice, like Genie's bottle.
You're describing like a padded room, basically.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the rich person version of a padded cell.
It's so funny because I think in some ways, because I see people who are, quarantining in these expansive, homes with gardens and pools and all of these things. And we're obviously in small New York City apartments. But weirdly, I think psychologically there is an element of being in a small confined space that I feel that my world has shrunk down to that space and I maybe even want less because of it. I'm honestly even stressed out to be doing a thing now. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I'm so used to I'm like a little hamster in a box now and everything else is stressful.